Hello everyone and welcome to this long overdue layout update. I took a bit of a break over Christmas from the layout just to spend time with family and various things like that, and at the start of the year I've been focusing mainly on work, so the layouts had to kind of come second best, but it was good to take a little bit of a break. I got my motivation back and now I'll bring you the updates of what I've been doing over the last few weeks. So if we start in this area of the TMD, as you can see, I've extended the concrete base across to the edge of the baseboard. I was trying to think of a way that I could get over the idea of having the gradient from the cork, like the height difference. And the best way I've done this was just to lay cork over the rest of the baseboard to the edge of the baseboard, and then just add obviously filler like I did with the other methods. The inspection pits are still all in. I just need to clean the track up. This is only up one coat, but I'm finally happy with the colour I've got with. Obviously there was a very dark grey on there, but I've gone for the Woodland Scenics top coat concrete colour. So hopefully this fares a little bit better, and it's more to the colour that I wanted from the first place. So I probably should have gone with this rather than experimenting with other things. The road bridge is taking shape over the back. This is again made out of the foam similar to the wall-ins that I've done over here. I've only done kind of the outlay of it, but this will be a double road with a path either side, and then obviously I've made the tunnel fronts, and the gravel limb will go up underneath that. Basically in this area here you'll see that there's a third tunnel arch. Now this isn't going to be a continuation of the rails going through into that tunnel. Obviously it wouldn't make sense for it to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of put a security fence across here and make it like an abandoned tunnel. Maybe put some old track in there to make it look like it's disused and various things like that. I mean, I could use it as the entrance to the TMD area, but I do want to keep it. I do want to keep the entrance kind of in the middle here, and then that gives me a nice wide area with the you know, with the offices and stuff like that. Over in this area here, there was a lot of confusion in the last update and a lot of discussion as to what I should do in this area. I eventually went with the idea of just putting some vegetation in there. I've used a different blend of fine scales and underbrush and various things like that from Woodland Scenics, and I think it kind of works pretty well. The electrification box that I originally scratch built to put there, it just didn't really look right. I took away the little gradient hill that I had here as well and kept it flat, but I've just raised the bushes up and stuff like that a little bit higher to make them kind of, you know, it acts as a good separation. I'm fairly happy with that. The signal box is again the same. I've added these drains in and various things like that, and added some like fine turf again into the gravel and various things like that, just to give it the idea of the undergrowth coming through, but it's also like it's kind of dying off as well. Coming over to this side of the TMD, the two sidings are now finished, and the yard light has been installed. I've painted the base with a concrete colour. This is again the Woodland Scenics one, and I've added some vegetation around the edge of the sidings. I'm not going to put buffers in there, I don't think. I think I'm just going to leave it as it is. I think it works pretty well, and you know, if the trains fall off the end they're going to hit the wall anyway, so that's not really too much of a problem. As you can see, my latest addition to the fleet, 779, apologies. Yeah, very nice loco. I was a little bit disappointed that it didn't come with the bell on the front, and someone has recently told me that that Hattons are actually selling it, and not Hattons, sorry, Rails of Sheffield are doing an accessory pack for I think £10, but apparently it's really out of scale and doesn't look very good, so I shall be leaving it without that until something better comes along. The yard light itself is actually working now. I've got one working, but I'm waiting for the concrete base to dry and for that to fully finish before I install the second one. I may install a third and a fourth one in the middle, but I'm not too sure about that yet. I don't really want to overload it with light, so I might just keep it with the two. I've started scratch building these industrial buildings. These are just simply made out of plastic card, and these will be stuck along the back above the wall in here. There'll be various different ones. I might even do like bigger ones, but obviously I'm very limited with space with the control cabinets, the storage cabinets, so it makes it a little bit difficult for me to put anything kind of big there. And finally, in the industrial area, as you can see, everything is starting to take shape. The cars are kind of all over the place at the moment, and the road markings, well, they're a bit all over the place, but funnily enough quite realistic if you think about it, because there's a lot of industrial estates and roads where the council just doesn't bother to, or the privately owned roads in that area don't bother to finish off the road markings, and you're kind of left with half a road marked and half a road unmarked. I still need to add in a pathway along this bridge, but as you can see, I've added various trees dotted along, and it's really starting to take shape. It's amazing what adding some trees and some greenery really does to an area. And again, I've added, where all the brown turf was in the middle of the pathways, I've just added in a mixed blend of green to give the idea of, grass going through and various things like that. I still need to add signage to each of the buildings. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to go for like a decorator's merchant, being a painter and decorator myself. It makes sense to have that over there, and then here will obviously be the builders merchants. The fence has been extended all the way along, and obviously goes across the back now. I need to add vegetation there, but once I've added these other industrial buildings, then that will take shape as well. I've got all of the little accessories for the builders merchants, like the insulation, the bricks, and some various woodwork. I do need to get some more of this, and once I kind of finalise how I'm going to have it all laid out and stuff like that, and finish all the pathing and stuff, that can then be added at the end. So on to the other side of the layout. This is the side that rarely sees any action at the moment in terms of scenery, purely because I continuously change my mind on how I want the track plan to be, and once again I've changed it. I've decided, rather than come round the back where the two tracks over there were and then across into the middle, I've put a tighter curve in it over this side, with all my point work over there, and I've added in longer loops and effectively a 4 platform station, obviously with a loop on one side and a through track on the other, and then a dead end which will be platform number 1, I believe it should be. Not really too sure. I should really know that, but anyway, we'll decide that at a later date. So basically the layout, like I said, dead end here, and that's just for like storage units. I've got a couple of engines stored there at the moment. The 2 through lines in the middle, and then a third through line over the far side. And this is followed up by another loop, which goes around the 4th platform. This goes into the small siding area over here. I wanted to keep the track plan simple, because obviously I need to fit all the point motors and various things like that. So I need to be able to get under there to reach them. So by having them kind of nearer and less point work over the back, it makes it easier for me to fit the point motors at a later date. So this area over the back here, this will, I'm pretty sure, be a scrapyard. Now I've seen ideas and stuff like that off of Widnes Vineyard, and growing up I saw a lot of scrap trains come through, living kind of near to Sheerness and stuff like that. So it made sense that I kind of added this in, and obviously, like I said, with Widnes Vineyard going for that idea, I thought it'd be a good addition for me to just have a couple of overgrown sidings. It doesn't have to be anything amazing, but it just cuts off that back area. I did originally want a big town scene, but I realised that having a big town scene would kind of overcrowd the idea of the station area. So I've increased the size of the station area, and I can again have the town scene behind, and I can have a good blend of track and a good blend of scenery as well. By also changing the layout, it means that I've also can now run longer trains. With these loops here, as you can see, this Class 68 with 6 coaches fits in there very easily, and there's still all that space there before the loop ends. So that's literally perfect. I can run longer trains, more realistic trains, as long as they can get up and down the gradient. So, a loco and maybe 7 or 8 coaches is probably a good amount for me, even though I personally think 6 looks very good. So that's it really in terms of updates. Progress is slow as always. I don't really get much time to get out here. because of work and various things like that. So it's always good to have a little bit of progress, but I don't, as you know, like putting out updates where there isn't anything to update. I'd rather just not upload a video, to be honest, than sit here and babble on about 10 minutes where nothing's really happened. But now that the lighting works, I can crack on with the point motors. I've got a little bit of motivation to do the point work, so I guess it's kind of a good time to do it now rather than when I lose that motivation and not do it at all and just leave it. But as always, if you guys have any questions or any comments you'd like to suggest about the layout, then feel free to add it in. I'll hopefully make a start on the other side of the layout. I'm going to do the point motors first, I think, because otherwise I'm never going to do them. I'm really not. I'm so bad at doing the electrics. It's just something I don't like doing. But sometimes you have to force yourself through it, get yourself motivated and crack on with it. But as always, if you guys did enjoy this, please leave a like. Like I said, comment if you've got any questions, suggestions or anything like that. And I will catch you guys in the next update.